Alright, back to Project Nickel and Dime. I went ahead and ordered up some new push rods from Ford Racing. They are 6.272, and the ones I was using were comp cams. It was a 6.4, so basically I was bottoming out the lifter, and I wasn't getting full retention, bolt down torque on the pedestal mount rocker arm, and basically the geometry, all that was left of the resistance was to push down on the valve. So I was getting accurate measurement across the valve stem when I did the full 2 rotations to measure the push rod, but I didn't check the U channel in between the 2 rocker arms for any kind of play, and it wasn't working out. So the next step was to go down to a 6.272 as recommended by Jim Morrison, from Vice President of the South Bay Mustang Owners Club down here in Southern California. He may stop by and help me out, give me some guidance with that. So he's running also running a 302 roller cam setup, and so basically I'm going to do a swap. I'm going to put some break-in lube on the ends of these new push rods because it's going to be needed because they're fresh, brand new and dry, and we'll basically go from there, and I'm sure I'll get some compression. So let's get started. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for watching. That's a pretty good measurable distance, the difference in pushrod length there. I don't know if this is in focus or not. That's just what I need. Now we set to 0 lash. Right there. And I'm going to go 18. Should go to 18 foot-pounds. This is right there. Now I know my lifters aren't pumped up, but let's rotate it and see what we get. I've removed the spark plug so it's easier. Valves are opening. The other one's not opening because I don't have a push rod on it, because I just use it to hold the U channel together, keep it from moving around. There's my intake valve opening again. I'm going to come around, and I'm going to stop at number 1, top dead center, which is right. Now I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to check the wear on the top of the valve stem. Alright, here's my wear, top of the valve stem. Hopefully it's in focus. You want it to go right across the top of the center line of the valve stem. But this is obviously, I don't have my lifters lubed up, so it's going to hopefully bring the rocker arm down, which will give a better wear pattern on top of the valve stem. So overall, I think it's going to look pretty good. I'm definitely going to get some good compression, and that's what's going to make this engine run. So I'm going to do that throughout all of these, and what I'm going to do is, per recommendations, it's exhaust open, intake closed, so I will set the intake valve when the exhaust is open, and I will set the exhaust when the intake valve is on its way back to closing, so I know that the exhaust will be fully closed. So I will get that squared away, and I will get a good workout turning 16 of these valves over today, and then we should be good to go. So let's do it. Make sure it seats on top of the lifter. Set your torque wrench to 20 foot-pounds, 18 to 20 foot-pounds. Okay, what we'll do next is hook up the battery, which already got hooked up, and then I'm going to do a quick compression check on number 1 cylinder. I'll bump it over with the remote starter and see what we get. I set the valve lash, set all the valves to torque as far as the rock arms, and hook up standard compression tester gauge, and hook up the remote starter and see what we get. Alright, got my gauge set up there. I'm going to bump it over with the remote starter. Make sure you remove the ratchet from the crank. And we're going to bump it over, see what we get. 120 psi. I'd say that's a pretty darn good start. So let's do it. Put the spark plugs in, put the valve covers back on, and fire it up. Alright, now I'm going to put in the spark plugs and put the distributor back on. Hook up the spark plug wires, and let's see if we can fire it up. Next up is the distributor cap. Alright, got everything back on. Distributor's locked down. Got the timing light hooked up to it for number 1 spark plug wire. Got the valve covers down. The vacuum PCV for the engine, the back of the carburetor hooked up. I disconnected the vacuum advance so I can adjust the timing if needed. I should be at 8 degrees before top dead center. Basically got everything down. Got the wires hooked up. Got the remote starter hooked up. I've got the ignition on, and the electric choke's powered up. She should fire right up, and now that I think about it, I should get some coolant out and some type F transmission fluid so I can keep an eye on the transmission and power steering pump, because I have a feeling this should go and it should run, and then I can set idle and then get to the air mixture valves. But I want to get another 20 minutes of runtime on this engine today, so let's give it a try. Let me go grab some fluids. Alright, got the ignition on. Should fire right up, folks. Here we go! Sweet! Fan's working. Maradyne High Performance Fan. Champion Series, keeping me at 180. Perfect.